Hello everyone, this is Ryan from Risen Fly, and today we've got an exciting video for you. It seems in the last couple years that especially in trout fishing, the check nymphing, high sticking, tight lining, whatever you want to call it, has really taken off. It's a great way to be able to catch a lot of fish, really hit some of the more productive water throughout the stream, and it's really been catching on a lot of our competition anglers. We've got a handful all over the country have really been loving our 23 PS nymph rod series. And when you put together this nymph rod, one of the greatest pieces to be able to up your game in catching fish is the leader system. They don't really use a traditional fly line. We actually have our competition fly line in the Omega series that's out there. But one of the most important parts is the leader. So today I'm going to show you some of the hand tie leaders that I've been making. Fairly simple. You can kind of complicate it a little bit more if you want to. And we're also going to have some of these on the website here in the very near future, if not right now anyways. So I just want to show you how to tie those up, what the importance of this is, and then something that you can tie on your own, give you all the material list, and show you why we're doing all of this. So the first things first is whenever we look at any traditional tapered leader, you've got it thick on the top and thin on the bottom. That when you think about the aerodynamics of anything, whether it's a car, whether it's a kite flying in the wind, that different thicknesses are going to react differently to the wind and how it cuts. So when you have a tapered leader, let alone the different currents that we're running through the system, whether it's this way in the current or this way in the current, the different taper in the tapered leader is going to react differently. And because of that, it's actually going to cause more drag on your flies. So we want to try to create a more streamlined system. There's a traditional mono rig here. We're going to look at pretty much a mono rig with some inline sighters that we're going to build today, utilizing a handful of different kinds of line. All of the ones right now that we have, minus the tippet rings that we're going to use, you're going to have to buy elsewhere. But we're going to show you all that information here today, so that you can build it yourself on your own, or like I said, I am building some of these to be able to be sold on the website if you just want to buy them as well. So the first piece of this is we're actually using a 20-pound Maxima chameleon. The chameleon and some of these other lines that we're using here has a very low memory to them, and that's really important because when we have any curl in the line, that's always going to cause drag. So you can use a leader straightener, you can actually stretch it out yourself to help reduce some of the curl. So there's still some curl in some of this, but if you pull hard on it, as you can see that I just did there, it really straightened out. So that's important with any of your leaders to begin with, is make sure that you have very little memory in it from it sitting on your reel. Doing the same thing with this to reduce any of the extra drag there. So we're starting out with a 20-foot section. I have it clipped off here, that it's already pulled off together, a 20-foot section here. Make sure, here's the only disclaimer that I'm going to put on these. If you do fish in some fly fishing only regulations, they limit the leader size to 18 feet. So make sure that if you are fishing any of those sections that have a regulation on the leader length, that you make sure that this adheres to that. So we start with a 20-foot section of 20-pound chameleon. And off of that, the next thing we're going to do is we have a 12-pound section of chameleon. We're just going to do a simple blood knot. And not only am I going to teach you the leader here, but I'm also going to teach you what I call my somewhat simplified blood knot. Blood knots in most of the people that I've taught over the years from the very beginning is the knot that just gets them. They just can't figure out how to do it. It takes them 15 tries. It's very difficult to do on stream. So I joke around. I say, well, I've got an easy way to do it. You just need 4 hands in your mouth. Well, 2 hands in the mouth, and I'm going to show you right here. So the first thing that you do with a blood knot is you twist it 8 times. You take one tag in, put it in here, put one tag in, put it in there. I think the hardest thing in that knot is finding that middle. So what I do is I actually twist 4 times. I put one tag end here, and then I continue to twist, and then that gives me the middle opening to be able to put a little bit of pressure on it and put the other tag end in. Because trying to find that middle and being able to put the line in is really difficult. So I'll show you what I do. I actually do put a piece in my mouth halfway through just to hold on to it, but I'm going to show you what this all looks like here. So first thing I do is I hold the lines through my hands in my other 3 fingers. I use my pointer and my thumb to be able to do all of the tying. So I do a longer tag end here, and all I do is I twist 1, 2, 3, 4. After 4, I put the one in my left hand through there. I hold it in my teeth, so I'm not going to talk too much, and then I do the other 4 twists. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's what I have so far. I'll put it a little closer to the camera. Hopefully it'll focus in on there. 4 twists on this side, 4 twists on this side, and 1 already through the middle. If you pull a little bit on that, you'll actually get your opening. It's coming through this way. I'm going to put it through the other way. And now you have your blood knot. 1 tag in this way, 1 tag in that way. Here's the importance on this knot. I'm going to not waste a whole lot of line because I actually have these pre-measured out to make sure that my dimensions are correct. But first thing in most knots is give it some lubrication. A little bit of spit goes a long way. And then as you pull the long ends here, you can actually work it out so you're not going to have a whole lot of waste. So that you've got minimal on your tag ends, wrap it around, give it a tight pull, wipe the spit off. And now you've got a great blood knot that is perfectly symmetrical with both 4 twists on either side and your tag ends here, which you're going to clip. So take your nippers or some scissors, clip it off with a very small tag end there. There's your blood knot. So this is 20-pound chameleon to, I do 1 foot of 12-pound chameleon here. So after your chameleon, you can add a tippet ring if you want. I've seen some recipes where they do. I don't, because I don't ever really anticipate taking off my cider. If I was, I'd do a whole different leader. So next we're going to build our 3-colored cider that's going to go into here. And the importance of this is that this helps you see in the water. Even above the water, any strikes are going to be detected by this brightly colored line. I'll show you all the lines that we're going to go through here, show you how we attach them and how we finish it up, and also at the end what you add on top of this leader for your tippet. So the next thing we're going to do is we've got this amnesia line, and amnesia means no memory, and that's what this is. So this is a memory-free monofilament. This is 12-pound in the red color that we're going to add on to the chameleon from here. So I like to do 9 inches of each piece. We've got 3 different colors here. So when I tie my knots, I've tied them well enough that I need 1 extra inch for my knot. So I've measured off an 11-inch piece of line here. So an extra 1 inch to cut off, and for the knot there, an extra 1 inch for the knot to cut off on the other end. So same thing, we're going to do our blood knot. Hold it in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take our line, put it in there. Let's see if I can successfully do all these blood knots in one video. I missed. Jinxed myself. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little bit of tension. Put the other end through. Adjust our knot a little bit. When I adjust that, all I do is I take where the wraps are and I kind of pull outwards, and that'll shorten the tag end. So I'm shortening up some of those. And if you do it well enough, you can have very little excess that you're going to clip off at the end. Wrap it around, give it a tight pull. There's your knot again. So we're going to have very little taper through all of this. So our 20-pound chameleon, 12-pound chameleon, This is our amnesia line. As you can see, when I gave it a pull, it really limits all of the memory that's on there. And that's a 12 pound. The next what we're going to do, so we've already cut it off, is a 10 pound amnesia in a chartreuse or yellow color. So that we're going to do the same thing. We've measured off an 11-inch piece for 9 inches at the end. 2, 3, 4. A little bit of tension, put it through. Lubrication. Sorry, I'm spitting on camera. Just spit all over my desk. Adjust the ends. Give it a pull. Okay. Clip off the edges. So these are the color selections that we like, that I've used personally, and I know that it's pretty popular out there. There's also some dual color lines that'll actually alternate, like red and yellow back to back. You can actually incorporate that as either the whole section here or as one of the 9-inch sections here. You can add it at the bottom. You can add different lengths to this as well, depending on the depth of the water that you're typically fishing. So if you're fishing some more shallower creeks, you can limit this maybe down to 6 inches a piece rather than 9. If you're going to be nymphing some deeper sections, maybe add it to a foot rather than 9 inches, so that you can kind of adjust this to whatever your fishing situations are. You can actually tie a bunch of them, make sure you label them, so that you know that from here on out for each situation you're in. The last section is Stren Gold. So Stren Gold was probably the first real color that came out that a lot of competition guys used. The old stuff that you can get your hands on is a little better than the new stuff. This is the new stuff. I have a small private collection of the old stuff that I've used for my own leaders. But it's just as good. Nice brightly colored line that we're going to add on here. And when you look at the gold and the yellow, there's actually enough of a contrast depending on the light situation and the water clarity that you can pick up the difference there as well. So the same thing, we've got an 11-inch section here for ending with 9 inches at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, my hands are cramping up after all these knots. Of course, the last one I struggle with. Got all my lines twisting up on me. So we're going to get this, and then the next step here is after we get this final knot. Here we go. If we get this final knot, we're going to add a tippet ring on the bottom, and that's going to be it. These tippet rings, if you haven't used them before, you need to add them to your arsenal because they really help save the longevity of your leader. I also like them because it creates a break-off point, where if you're using any knotted leaders before, you never really know where the break-off is going to be. If you do have a snag, whether it's in a tree or on a rock on the bottom or a log or anything like that, that these tippet rings help make sure that your break-off is almost every single time on the tippet ring there. So you save your tippet ring, save your leader, and then you only have 1 to 2 tie-ins from there. So just as a review, we've got 20-pound chameleon, 20 feet of that. We've got 1 foot of 12-pound chameleon. We have 9 inches of red amnesia, 9 inches of yellow amnesia, and 9 inches of the Stren Gold. After that, we have our tippet rings. They're very, very small. Here's my advice on these, is we sell them on these little clips. They don't come individually. They come in 10 on a clip. And the best advice I'll ever give you is to tie your knot before you take it off of the clip. So section off one on the end of the clip itself. Put your line through. We're going to tie a basic clinch knot. I like the basic clinch. I know some people like the improved clinch. But the regular clinch I feel holds better in certain situations. Sometimes on certain fluorocarbons, the improved clinch I think works better. That's just my own personal preference. Haven't had any issues in the 12-15 years that I've been fly fishing. Lubrication on all your knots. And what I like to do on this is I take my hemostats just so that I get a little bit extra grip, put it on the clip, pull tight on your knot. And then after you're done, open the clip, pull it off with the tippet ring attached, close your clip, and that's it. I've got a small tag end on my knot here, and we're done. So here's your full leader up into the tippet ring here. So from here, you're going to add your actual tippet section. So depending on what you're fishing and what you're comfortable with, 3, 4, 5, 6x tippet. You can put 2 sections of tippet depending on what your depth of your water and situations from there. But anywhere from like 2 to 6 feet of tippet I would recommend from there, and then putting on your nymphs from there. I know that we had our hook sale a couple weeks ago, and you guys almost cleared us out of our jig hooks. We will be getting those in real soon for you guys to continue to tie more flies on. We also have our slotted tungsten beads in a couple different colors now, in a handful of sizes. We'll be adding a few more colors into those in the near future. And then also one piece that a lot of people like is our brass nymph collars. So it looks like a hot spot you can actually add into there. I'm pretty sure we're going to add some tungsten ones later this year as well. But make sure if you're in any competitions, they only, due to the regulations, allow you to have 1 bead, so that nymph collar doesn't fit those regulations. But for your casual fly fishers out there that are nymphing, go ahead and add those, and that really adds a little extra pop to some of those nymphs as well. So here's the whole nymphing leader. I know this is like an 87-minute video, but I wanted to give you all the details to that so that you can tie your own, or you can hop on our website and buy one of them as well. So thank you guys for all the time that you spent here. Last but not least, make sure that you hit the subscribe button on this video, hit the bell icon so that you get notified of all of our future posts, and thank you once again for supporting Risen Fly. All of this stuff, including our nymph rod, our line, hooks, beads, everything else that we talked about is on our website. That's www.risenfly.com. Thank you guys for your time today, and look forward to the future videos coming out.